Welcome to my laboratory, or as some may call it, a lavatory. My name is Rob, and this is my path. So today we're going to take you on a little journey of an experiment I've been doing over the last while. A lot of worm keepers feed their worms once they get up higher. They feed them wheatgrass pads, which is a great idea. Me being the forever save $1 on a necessity most of the time, I've decided to try it with bird seed. I also tried a little experiment with corn seed because I timed some things wrong and had some corn seeds germinate and it didn't have no place to go. So I tried a corn seed pad too. So this is going to be showing you all of my experience, the good, the bad, and let you know what we've settled on at the very end to move forward with. So, hope you enjoy. Hope it's something worth watching. See you later. I've got 6 cake-out containers, just the ones you get with your order number 2 at your, quickie Chinese place, takeout place. And I put in about a cup of aged manure in each one. Plus it's got a little paper and some potting soil that got dumped in there over the time. But anyway, it's a nice little base, about a cup per container. Now let's go over and take a look at our birdseed. Now what we have here is 6 cups of birdseed floating. They're in cups, each one's in a cup, and they're all wetted down. Plenty of water to cover. In this case, it's about 6 ounces per container, give or take. And it does not have to be perfect. Just want to wet them so that they're all covered so that they can soak for the next 24 hours. So we'll be back in 24 hours and show you the next steps. Okay, so it's 24 hours later. We have drained our seeds and we have used a small strainer to wash them all out. Really nice. And now we're just gonna dump them in there. We're not gonna get too carried away of how perfective it is. I'm finding that I got a little ambitious. I didn't need quite as much, but that's what this is. It's the first time, so it's an experiment. So now we're just gonna spread them out, but we still want them to be pretty heavily grouped because we want a nice root ball and lots of goodies for them to eat. Remember, this is bird seed, so it's very cost effective. So we don't have to worry about how much we're using. All right, now we get a nice even mount. Across the bottom, pretty heavy. So we got used about a half of what I was expecting. So we'll cut back on future runs. And the last thing we need to do is we'll just grab a piece of plastic here and cut a very quick and rough covering. Okie dokie, and a rough cut there. There we go, nice little cover. Now, just before we put her to bed with all the rest of the stuff, I'm gonna water her in really nice. Get her nice and moist. And we'll be checking this at least once a day. And there we go. And we are set. So we'll be back when they start doing something. Okay, so here we are. Our first little experiment for our sprouting seeds. Using just manure, seeds, water, and a plastic cover. Did not work. Got a couple little ones that sprouted, but that was it. So it's time to clean this out and start over. Okay, so here we are. We've emptied all of our plant bases there, our takeout containers, and emptied them all into a bucket. Now, as you see, I emptied them in with the seeds and all. We're going to start new seeds, but if these ones grow along with it, I don't care. If they're able to germinate, and they do, awesome. It's just more to the mix. So it's not something we're going to waste any of this stuff. We're just going to use the same material over. We've went ahead while it was in the bucket here, and we wet it down really nice. It's a little moist. Let's see. It's a little moist, but that's okay. We're gonna let it sit for a while and dry down, and then we'll be back and put it all into our plates. Sorry, brain fart tonight. Well, and with that, we'll be back. All right, so we're back. It's been a little bit. We've dumped out all of our flats that we were using. Just Chinese takeout flats. We've emptied all of our manure concoction into a bucket, and we've wet it down. We used extra alfalfa meal tea that I had left over after watering my other plants, and we watered it down and got it really nice and moist. And now we're just going to take 1 cup and stuff it in there. Okay, now we're just going to spread it out really good across the bottom to give it a nice wet base. Something to grow into. That'll be nice for the wormies. You can see here, this is one of my somewhat successful fails. So, didn't exactly go as planned, but that's okay. Alright. So, and then we're doing it again. Different, a little bit different. Now, this time what we got here is we got some corn that I've been sprouting. I sprouted it for a seed tea, but it just didn't work out. I was trying some different things there, and I just didn't get them in time. So now we're just going to use them in here and let them become some nice worm food. No, you probably hear tails in the background. Doing what I can do to be a pain in my butt. But overall, he's a good kitty. We'll keep him, huh? We'll keep you. So that's all we're going to do is we're just going to put them in here and go ahead and grill. Get a nice thick carpet. I think we're going to have enough that we're going to be able to, I know. I think we're going to have enough that we're going to be able to do a second tray with just corn, which is awesome. Okay, now that leaves us a nice little bit for the next one. And we've got plenty in here. This should grow out of control, and it should be a nice little pad. Pretty happy with that. All right, so now we're just going to take newspaper that we have nice and folded up here. And we're just going to give it a nice, you're going to not like this. You're not a big fan of water, pal. We're just going to moisten the top up here really nice. All right, we're going to let that soak up for a minute. And then we're just going to put a light cover sitting over top of it. And then we'll set it off in a nice place where it won't be disturbed. And we'll do some other ones, but we don't need to show you all of those. So, until, yeah, yo. So, there we go. We'll put these to bed until we get to do the next flat. And yeah, that's it. We'll see how we go from there. And, we'll bring you back in when we get to that point. Okay, here we are, 6 days after we started our new corn wheatgrass pad. Hi, Booth. Get out of there. That's not for you. So. Sorry, I got a helper tonight. Anyway, we're 6 days in since we put it into our seeds into our manure, aged manure. We've been checking on her and spraying her down, spritzing her down daily. And as you can see, they're starting to come alive. So, yeah, as you can see, it's starting to come out. One of the problems with corn is going to be is it's slow growing. But I think this experiment is working. I think in a very short amount of time we're going to have some very nice corn stalks growing out there. Of course, we're going to take her down before she does. And she's going to end up with the worms before that. But that's okay. Give her a good spritzing. We're going to go another couple days or so before we go ahead and put her in the sunlight. Not exactly sure when. We'll kind of play it by ear. But we want to see if we can get a few more sprouted pretty good. And we want to see if once they start looking like they're going to die off because they're not getting any light, we'll worry about that. And then we'll flip them out to be in the sunlight for a little bit. But until then, everything's looking very nice. I'm very happy with the results. Just gonna give the newspaper a little spritz on top here. And there we go. Our little experiment is working so far, so good. Again, don't know if it'll replace the bird seeds of the wheatgrass, but it's viable. Okay, here we are 2 days after our last check-in, and they've pushed all the paper and the top off it, so she is ready to get some light. So we went ahead and moved her, our seed pad out here. We moved her out to our growing area where we have our aloes and our propeller plants and our windows. And as you can see, we're currently in the middle of a nor'easter starting up. It's supposed to get a lot nastier. Right now it's not too bad. But anyway, here you go. We'll update her again. We'll be back. But today's her first day getting some sun. The worms will really be loving this when she's ready to go to them. And that's probably only about a few days away. I'm not really sure how fast corn grows, but we'll see. All right, so I hope so far you've found something interesting going on. From this point forward, though, we're going to get into how I finally settled on and what worked for me. In the end, we'll be revisiting the corn seed pad. And there's my little helper. Hi, Smiley. Okay, so here you go. I hope this next section is of use as much as anything was before this. So, until next time. Okay, here we are. Hi, here we are. We're going to take a look at how we make a seed pad for our worms for feeding. A lot of people use wheatgrass. You can use barley grass. Here today I'm going to use birdseed. Nothing spectacular, just what you can buy from the store. I start out with a quarter cup. We start out with a quarter cup of seeds. Just dump them into our ball jar. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to let them soak for 24 hours, get nice and hydrated and puffed up. The only other thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure we shake them up really good too. And then just let them sit for 24 hours to soak up that goodness. All that nice water, let them cue in to know it's ready to go back to work. So, that's what we're going to do next, is just shake them up, and then we'll put a cloth over the top, and we'll be back in 24 hours. Okay, so we're back. We've soaked our seeds for a little more than 24 hours. And now we're just going to lay a cup of dirt into this takeout container and spread it across nice and somewhat evenly. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just a growing medium for the seeds to take care. And as you can see, we already have some seeds in here. As you can see, we already have seeds in here. Reason being is we're recycling the manure and everything that we had I already used last time. That didn't quite work out. So we're hoping for better results this time. I think we've got it this time. So I think we'll be in good shape. We've been experimenting with some different ways. Some worked, some didn't. Okay, and now I'm just going to use my measuring cup in my funnel and strainer. And I'm just going to go ahead and dump them off. And strain the seeds out. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and flop them over on top of our whatever grow medium we're using. I happen to use horse manure combination. Because, well, I have beyond a overwhelming supply of it. So, with my daughter-in-law who keeps her horses here on my property in my barn, it just happens to work out really good for my worms. And they are more than happy to use it. I also feed it to them normally. Not as much as I probably should, but I have other things in the works that may take up more of it. Okay, so now all we're going to do, just spread them out over the top. Nice layer. Don't have to get too fancy, but we do want a pretty nice thick carpet for the wormies to have a good smorgasbord. Think they'll be very happy with this. And we made adjustments. We had more than this last time, but after doing it a couple times and working it out, I think a quarter cup of seeds is looking pretty perfect when using the bird seeds anyway. All right. Now, all we're going to do, toss a paper on top of her. Give her a nice little wet down. And our manure concentrate was already moist. So we're not overly worried about that. And again, we're going to check it daily anyway. And now all we're going to do is place the top loosely over the takeout container, and we're going to stick it away. And we'll check on it for a few days. We'll keep checking on it every day for the next while and grow it, and we'll go on from there. Here we go. We are back checking in on our corn seed pad. She's looking really good, greened up a lot. She's starting to get some really nice root development that the worms will really love. We obviously have some that have some died off here and there, but overall it's looking really, really good. The worms will really love this. But yeah, it's looking really, really good.
really happy with it. So yeah, it's just greened up a lot in the last couple days, 3 days. And it's looking awesome. And you see next to here, this is another experiment. Not one I showed you all of, but I'll show you what it is. This was started at the same time as that one. But it was this one here. The seeds were put on top of the horse manure, aged horse manure mix. And this one, the manure was put on top of the seeds. And as you can see, the one with the seeds on top is by far outperforming this one. This one's trying. So we'll keep going, and we'll let her do her thing. The worms will get this pad too. But as an experiment, we definitely see that putting the whatever substrate you're going to use under seeds worked better.
All right, here we are 4 days into our wheatgrass pad. We're not wheatgrass, we're using birdseed. And that's how she's looking so far.
We have lots of little hairs, roots, feelers sticking up, which will become plants themselves, and they're reaching for the sky. Really nice. We're gonna go ahead and keep them under wraps for a little while longer, and then once she got a little bit of green starting to show and a little bit taller and hardly heavier, we'll go ahead and let them go. And here we are, day number 6, or day number 7 if you include the 24-hour soak of the seeds. And looking really, really good. And this is our corn, which we'll be using in our new worm bed here shortly. But it grew up quite a bit. It looks pretty nice. I wouldn't waste the time or money to do it again, but it was an interesting experiment. Seeing I already had them germinated, and definitely by my experimentations, they work better. The seeds work better if they're put on top of the grow medium, in this case horse manure, aged horse manure, than if they're put under. Yeah, same seed, same germination, same everything. Just we put the seeds under the manure on this one. And as you can see, it didn't do quite as good, but that's okay. Again, it was an experiment, and we're happy with it. So again, we're looking really good, and we've taken the newspaper and the plastic cover off it and moved her out into the main room so it can get some nice sunlight and start growing. Okay, here we are at day 14, which is normally about the time that this will become worm food. What a bends, and as you can see, she's very nice and lush and very good. And this is our experimental one. That's the corn seeds that we germinated, and then we put them on the bottom and put manure on the top. And as you've probably seen the other one, or I'll put in this video if I can, that the other one was definitely much more fuller, the one that was on top. This one didn't do. I admittedly fucking gave it a little, not enough water a few days ago. So, but it doesn't matter. Just get tossed into the worm bin. And these 3 little jewels right here are 3 days old. And that's what they look like. And then about 14 to 15 days, they'll look like this. So I think we found our way. From now on, we will definitely be putting the manure down first, then the seeds, wetting it down, putting a piece of newspaper over top, wetting it down, putting a cover on, plastic cover for this type of takeout tray on top, not locking it down, just setting it there, and let them go until they push the cover off. And then they come out and they will be watered and set in the sun for the days until they're ready to be used as food. So there you go. That's the last of this video. So until next time, take it easy. Take care. Take it one day at a time. And I will see you on the next one.